Welcome. I am the alien scientist, and we are here today, joined by Steve Ellswick and Mark Sokol and Jeremiah, the engineer of the Falcon Space team. Steve Elwick is the he runs Tesla Tech. I don't know. You're the organizer for it. What would you call yourself? Your title?
Well, my name is Steve Ellswick, and I publish this magazine called Extraordinary Science and Technology. I've been working in the field of Tesla since 1984 when I helped put together the Tesla conference, Tesla Symposium in Colorado Springs, Colorado, as part of the IEEE 100th year celebration. I've been putting these conferences on since 1984. At first, we did alternating conferences every even year. We had a symposium, which was written papers and everything. We had written proceedings. And then we evolved into having extraordinary science conferences on the odd years. And those were just strictly video recordings in Colorado Springs. And after I left them, I formed Exotic Research down in Stanfield, Arizona. And we had a couple of conferences, and then we got hit with 911, which really knocked the wind out of everyone, especially us. And I had to quit doing things for about 2 years, and then I was able to form Tesla Tech. And that's what we're working with now, is the Tesla Tech and Extraordinary Technology conferences. We put them on every year. At first, we were doing them in late July. Then we had to move to August, and I think August is a much better position. So
nice. So August 11th, this is coming up. I went to Tesla Tech actually 12 years ago in 2009, the last time I went, and I'm actually planning to go out there again this August in 1 month. So people, you have 1 month away. It would be a good time to look into it and maybe book your seats for the conference and come check it out. So who are we having speak this year, and what kind of stuff are we talking about?
We have a wide variety of people. We are the leaders of all fields of alternative energy and medicine and propulsion, like anti-gravity and that. And if you have to pardon me, I can't see very well without my glasses here, so I want to slide them on. Sorry for the glare. Anyway, we have Paul Price. He's going to be covering gravitational propulsion. I'm sure that your listeners in the anti-gravity field are familiar with him. And then we have Lucian Ionescu. He's from the University of Illinois, and he'll be covering like the electrogravitational aspects of it. And we have Thad Mauney. He's a professor out of the University of Montana there, up in Butte, and he's going to be doing the Byfield-Brown effect, which is also a portion of electrogravitation. Then we have Russell Anderson. Now, Russell is a well-experienced a researcher, and he has a lot of hands-on devices. And he brings in, he's been working real heavily with the solar devices, which are the rotational magnets and that. He's been working on the
I remember him from the Searle effect, right? He worked with Jason Verbelli, I believe, and this is him with Tom Vallone, I believe. This is Russell Anderson right here.
That'd be Russell.
Yeah.
And he's been like I say, he's been doing a lot of work. He was came with Dr. Searle when Dr. Searle spoke at our conferences.
Yeah, Dr. Searle, I think he was there. I actually no, he wasn't there that when I went, but he was like planning to come in 2009, and I ended up doing the interview with him from the conference, and only like one half of the audio came out, so the interview was like ruined. I actually did an interview with John Searle in the hotel room at Tesla Tech in 2009. Funny piece of history.
And unfortunately, Dr. Searle is no longer with us. He passed away about a year ago, I think, maybe a year and a half. And that's the problem we're having right now. All the hardcore researchers are starting to slowly fade away. You know, it's I mean, look at me. I'm getting ready to go here. I won't be here 20 years from now unless something happens dramatic in the medical field. But yeah, we have Mark Sokol. He'll be there, and I'm sure he'll have a great presentation.
We'll have to get that machine from Elon that downloads your whole consciousness onto a computer, so we can save you. Right? So how about?
I don't know if what the whole consciousness.
So someone was asking about your if this had to do with Tesla Tech, like the car. Like, no. So this is not anything to do with Tesla, the corporation. This is Nikola Tesla, who was originally had his laboratory in Colorado Springs, where you started this all up, right?
Yeah. So we had a museum in Colorado Springs, and we've been doing this for many years before Elon came around. You know, he's probably still in his diapers. Well,
right.
We started with this.
Right. Yeah. So this has been the pursuit of understanding how electricity and magnetism really work and mastering those. I saw a lot of interesting stuff when I went there last time. There was a guy I met named, what was his name? He was doing the Brown's gas stuff. And George Weissman and Chris. He had a younger kid from the University of Ohio, I think, Idaho. Chris. What the heck was his name?
I'm drawing a blank there too. I know.
Yeah, I remember. And then I met Joseph Farrell there. Marco Rodin was there. There's like all the like big names in like technology and stuff go to this conference, and so we're hoping this one's going to be the big one, and we're all going to try to meet up and so people can meet these people and meet me in person and meet everyone on the team in person. So yeah, it's 1 month away, August 11th. Put it on your calendar. And
how does anyone get tickets?
How do people get tickets and get more information? Also, you got to fix your conference program link. It goes to a 404 not found now. So you might want to check your website on that. I don't know why it's not showing up when I click the conference program.
I need to go check that. It may be
I think I posted it in the chat over here. Jeremy, you can check it out.
Oh, the private chat?
In the private chat, there's a working link that you can use.
Okay.
Maybe because you might have HTTP and they had to change it to HTTPS.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that can screw up things on your website.
Because they changed all the browsers and they come up with all these security warnings and everything. So they put me behind a secure background, so that shouldn't be happening anymore. But I feel that we've been suppressed in the last 3 months really heavily.
This is the right link. I got it now. So here's the right link. Let me post it in the comments for the live chat. Go check this out. Yeah.
And if people sign up before July 15th, they can get a 20% discount off the price. If 2 or more people sign up at the same time, you get an additional 5%. Teens are free. So
heck yeah.
It's going to come too.
Hey, Ian. Hey, John. Hey, Bio Nerd. Hey, Angela. Hi, Oxizzy.
Electric plasma engines.
Hey, Renee.
Yep, there's going to be lots of stuff like that.
Mike.
Tesla Tech. Also, people should recognize that this year Tesla Tech is taking place during the Perseid meteor shower, which peaks on the night of August 12th. And Albuquerque is a great place to view the stars. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely come down to Tesla Tech and you can meet everyone on the team, see all these great scientists, and also check out the Perseid meteor shower from up in the mountains. That's where Albuquerque is. I'll be giving a speech on Friday the 13th at 1300 hours. That's the last slot that Steve had available for us.
What is it with you and these weird numbers? I was surprised you didn't get number 51 again.
Yeah.
51.
I don't know if there was a 51 available. Otherwise, I would have ended up with it.
It's weird numerology going on. Jeremiah, what you have an update? Anything going on with your lab? Are you planning to come down to Tesla Tech?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to make my way down there. I've got a plan ahead, and I've got a few things to get together first. But I would very much like to bring some demos with me. My main focus, if I do go this year, if I'm able to make it, is to bring a bunch of stuff to show off. Because Mark's already got that time slot. We can certainly work in other experiments that we've done. And
we got to get a booth for him, like somewhere out in the open, like right when people walk in, because we're going to put on top hats and we're going to put on a show with we're going to bring in a whole bunch of giant Tesla coils and we'll put on a. Oh man, you got to bring everything down, man. I don't know. You got to figure out some way to get it there. If I got to drive out to you and then put
well-constructed Tesla coils at the minimum,
if I got to drive my van to you and load my van with all your Tesla coils and electronics equipment and drive it down there, I will do it.
How much we can do no cause, right? Like we probably can't run the impulse gen or throw a shower of sparks everywhere. Today it might be quite in place, but during August.
What if we bring that 2-foot ball and hit it with the megavolt March generator?
Aliens get in free.
That would knock out the whole hotel.
Run that megavolt March generator inside that place.
But, we have some really crazy experiments going on in the lab.
Yeah, so anyone who's an enthusiast about UAP and wants to dig into the technology and stuff, I'm going to be there with. You know what I was also thinking of doing is getting a bunch of copies of my flash drive. I want to get the database. You know how we have our database? I want to put the database on like flash drives,
That's
or like
great idea.
You know what I mean? Just like 100 of them and just auction them off or hand them out or something. I don't know how many people. How many people are we expecting?
I don't have a clue at this point, because there's a lot of people that signed up last year.
What if we get like 10,000 people there? What if we just flood the place out?
We won't get that many, but we could probably handle about 400 or 500 seated. We have that much expansion room. But people are all the time just, because our booths are open on the outside, people are just all over the place, Some people come to hear the lectures. A lot of people come and check out the vendors and that and try all the equipment out, This is really a hands-on event. We focus on hands-on stuff. And it's an important thing this year. It's very important because this year, for the first time, I think we have undeniable evidence of climate change, and it's going to start changing everything. COVID started, by putting everybody on video and everything and getting people to go up on the computers to do stuff. Now with the climate change and everything, we have to go to new transportation systems. And I feel that the alternative propulsion is going to play a big part in it because a lot of it taps into the alternative energy and stuff. And movement is the basis of all energy. If you can make something move, you have energy or something you can tap into. I'm very enthusiastic about it. This could be the year for change.
Oh, I think it is. So Eric Weinstein, I don't know if you know who that is. Do you know who he is? He's like got a huge following in the like what's called the dark intellectual community. What's that whole side of the this whole side? What's it called? It's called the dark web or not the dark web, but the I don't forget what the heck it's called. No, not dark matter. He's got 500,000 followers, and he recently reached out, and I reached out to him this morning, and he got back to me. He said he's curious to hear more about about it. I'm gonna give him access to our database, and a number of other people were requesting access to our database and stuff. But I wanted to talk to him and maybe hook him up with some people. Anyways, yeah, that's so lots is going on. We're gonna be reaching out to all kinds of people and having some amazing conversations getting up here. Intellectual dark web, that's what it's called, the intellectual dark web. Yes. Boom. I knew someone here would know it. They know the intellectual dark web. So we are kind of part of like this intellectual dark web, and we're trying to build a network of people that will build this technology and further, help, because really climate change, whether you believe in it or not, whether you think it's like a government conspiracy or whether you believe in it, the science I think is pretty convincing, and I believe in it myself. But regardless, even if you don't believe in it, we need to take control of this planet, and we need to like make sure that we have proliferation, and we're destroying this planet. There's no doubt about it. Look at what humans are doing. It's disgusting when you look around us. Everyone see the ocean burning? Did anyone see this?
Oh yeah, that was the oil burning off right next to that oil refinery. So who are you most excited to meet at Tesla Tech this year, Jeremy?
Who am I most excited to meet? You guys and everyone else in my audience and stuff. And Steve Ellswick, I haven't seen him in 12 years, and it would be great to and Tom Valone. Is Tom Valone going to be there? All the guys. There's probably going to be a number of people from the APEC conference that are going to show up. So it's like it's the who's who, man. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah, Glenn Robertson's going to be there from NASA. He was the one who actually built the disks for the NASA replication of the Podkletnov spinning superconductor experiment. It wasn't Ning Lee, it was Tony Robertson. He's going to be there coming into Tesla Tech just to meet us. Also, Jason
Mike Gamble's going to be there too, and Gary Peterson. Oh, man.
Yeah, there's lots of people. Mike Gamble. I'm really excited to meet Mike Gamble and show him the gyroscope device that I had built. There's Paul Price is starting off, I think. There's quite a few people there that I have spoken to personally, and a lot of these people are at APEC as well. So it's sort of going to be like a APEC get together and just a meeting of the minds of. I also noticed, and this was from Tim Ventura, that this year, Steve, at Tesla Tech, there's more anti-gravity, sort of like an alternative propulsion slots than there are, alternative energy. Is that true? Are we like moving more toward propulsion than energy?
Well, everything.
You're getting Tim mixed up, Mark. But yeah, I was pointing out to you. You're like, why should we be interested in Tesla Tech? I'm like, dude, take a look at the presenters, man. There are more people presenting information about propulsion and relevant information of what we're working on than there are anything else. It was just an overwhelming load of people this year that specifically are working in the areas that we're most interested in, and it's sort of like I don't know, it's like a grassroots movement, seeing the whole thing just bubble up from nothing, because you can take a look at the previous year's rosters for Tesla Tech and just take a look at like the categories and who's presenting. You look at it this year and it's so focused on energy and propulsion. It's unreal. So really fantastic, and that's the exciting part about this year that makes it different. But yeah, it was me, or once again.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. But Steve, is that true? Are we moving more toward propulsion versus energy here, or?
Well, they're interconnected. And this year just happens to be a real big push towards alternative propulsion. I mean, now that we got to change, electric cars is going to be one thing, but that's old tech stuff, really, when you get down to it. But you have Tesla, the Tesla guy, Musk, out there talking about levitating his vehicles using rockets. Now, come on, that's ridiculous. What we need is the real ground effect anti-gravity stuff, and we have a lot of people coming who I think could maybe put something together here eventually within a short time frame. One of the things I want to point out is Gary Peterson's coming, and he'll be speaking on the wireless transmission of energy. And he's been down to that place down in Texas where they're trying to replicate it for real. And so we should get the inside scoop on that. And then we have Jeff Hayes, he'll be speaking on the Tesla Turbine, and then Jeremiah is coming down from Idaho, and he has a lot of hardware. Like I say, a lot of these guys are hardware types. So, and I'm sure there's going to be one or two changes. I can't really predict that because people's schedules all of a sudden change with emergencies and that. But for the most part, everyone here had been verified and everything before I went to press, and so it should be a pretty safe bet that most of these people will be there. And if they aren't there, we'll have someone just as capable to step in their place and carry forward. I'm a firm believer in having backups and backups to backups. Call it the NASA syndrome. So,
who's new here at Tesla Tech this year?
Mike Twitchell. Well, he's an oldie. He's been there a couple years ago, but he hasn't been there for a while. Mike Myers, Ralph Sulath. Well, Ralph's been there a couple of times. See, Jeff Hayes, it's been a while since but Jeremiah is brand new. Gary's been a long time ago. Mike Gamble, he's there every year. Mark, you're brand new.
Yep.
George Wiseman may not make it, but he has a second in command there. Marty will be there. Marty would be new to us. David Puckett, it's been a couple of years since he's been there. Yeah, Paul Price is definitely a brand new one.
Oh, Paul hasn't been there before?
Pardon?
Paul Price hasn't been there before?
No, not to this conference.
Oh, well, that's interesting. Yeah, I've spoken to Paul a couple of years back. He has some pretty wild theories, so it'd be interesting to meet him in the flesh.
So pretty much we try to keep the things going, and the big problem here is like we had to skip a year because of last year we had to cancel because of COVID. That was shoved down our throats, and so what may seem new to you is old hat to me, because I've been looking at the same names for 2 years now, But I'm really happy or pleased with what we've got for a program here, And then we have a lot of vendors there, and on Saturday at noon, or for the first speaker, we have all the vendors come up there who aren't presenting, and they do a little, 5 to 10 minute presentation on what they're bringing to the show. So everyone can get a feel for what's going on in the hallway as well. And every night we have like a meet and greet. We'll have something to eat every night. In the past, we've had a pizza bar, taco bar, chicken wing bar, and a chicken bar. So there's plenty of food, too, So we sit down and talk to the vendors and other attendees and have a great time. Which makes us different from a lot of these shows.
Yeah, I certainly appreciate how far out you go and listening to anyone who has an idea and focusing on technology, focusing on hardware versus far out theories and all that. And that's really key.
And the other thing is the hotel. The hotel is like $74 a night for one person, $79 for two. But that includes a free breakfast. They have a breakfast bar set up for people who stay at the hotel. And so that's a significant price reduction, because normally these rooms run for about $119. It's a 4-star hotel, and we get a better rate than anyone out there, including the military and the AAA. We're at $74, and like I say, including the breakfast. You can't beat that. You can try to go down to Motel 6, but by the time you throw breakfast back in the mix, it's pretty expensive, But I enjoy it there, and I think everyone have a great time. Your biggest problem will be not getting enough sleep. Stay up all night and talk. It's like a family reunion, for researchers. So.
And this year, we're also going to throw in the Perseid meteor shower. And I understand Albuquerque's up in the mountains, right?
No, we're at the base of the Sandia Peak. You know,
So you're in the valley next to the mountains.
yeah, right next to the mountain. If you go close to the mountain, you can catch the tramway to the top of the mountain. They have a tramway. Kirkland Air Force Base is there. And,
Oh, I heard from some locals, like Aiden Schaefer included, who was also part of our team, that there are lots of UFO sightings in that area. Is that true?
I wouldn't doubt it, because you're in Albuquerque. It's wedged between the research up in Taos there, and you go down below, down to Roswell. It's about halfway in between. New Mexico is always a hot spot. One of my back issues, I did a story on Roswell, on why.
How far are we from Roswell? How far is this from the Roswell site?
About 2 hours.
Oh, we could do a Roswell crash site.
That's the plan.
Yeah. Oh my God. I mean,
I'm going to meet up with David Marler too in Albuquerque. When we go down, Michael Schratt's probably going to meet up with us. He's going to come up. I don't know. We were thinking about even going down to the aircraft graveyard down in Tucson.
I mean, this is the chance for alien scientist listeners to meet us in person and see what's up, and also get a great vacation all in one.
Well, the great thing about Roswell is that I went to a UFO annual crash conference they have down there, and they were having it in this like a museum there. Turns out the museum was for the father of rocketry, Goddard, and outside they had like his model they used to shoot up there, and all these UFO guys didn't get the significance because he was there shooting rockets off during World War II. That actually made it our spaceport. And at the time of the crash, all of our nuclear weapons was based right there at the Air Force Base in Roswell. And you figure the nuclear blast site is pretty close to that too. You're within about a 45-minute to hour drive from that. It's all tied together. White Sands, Roswell, and then Kirkland. And Kirkland's pretty fantastic. I've been there. I was there in 1984 when they were had just solved the problem with the fluctuating atmosphere to use their laser-based their air-based laser. We were playing with it back then, 1984, and they come out like it's brand new stuff. Well, it's not. It's like 20-year-old technology now. And then you have the a 12-story high wooden trestle there that goes out over this canyon, and there's not a piece of metal in it. And they roll out these 747s and all their aircraft, and they have a huge Marx generator, and they bring down that lightning down to hit that those planes, and that's how they determine how to make them harden against lightning and everything. But it's pretty cool stuff. They had a first
What's the weather that time of year in New Mexico? Can we expect like 115 degree days, or
more like about 89 to 90 degrees? Well, it was 116, 120 here in Vegas. There it was like they said it got as low as 65 one day. So they're not getting hit with all this heat. They're just like in this ridge there. So that's why I have it in Albuquerque, because they're a mile up, and it's pretty mild weather there.
Right. And once you get into Taos and the higher regions, it gets even milder, right?
Oh yeah, they're much higher.
Oh, so it's definitely a great place for people to come and meet the team and see lots of hands-on technology. Is that the hotel, the Crown Plaza?
Yeah, I got it up here on the.
Looks like they have a nice pool. The average hotel cost is $110, but when you get through the website through Tesla Tech, you can get it for just $74 a night. That includes breakfast, so it's a great deal. and we're going to be there from the 11th to the 15th, right?
Right. I'll be there from the 7th. I go in on the Saturday before, just in case there's any problems. I'm there to resolve everything. And I like this place. It's really a nice place. It's just been refurbished within the last 10 years. I think it was about maybe 5 or 6 years ago they refurbished it. So it's been freshened up quite a bit. Yeah, that's the back area. And this is right at the intersection of I-25 and I-40. So and it's only a few minutes drive from the airport, which is pretty close. And downtown is pretty close to here too, so it's a big convenient place.
To be full of cars, researchers, and do you expect any big media coverage coming in this year? Given the UAP report and all that's happened.
I don't know, but I met this woman from the BBC there at the UFO conference a couple weeks ago. So now she has our material, and we'll see.
Oh yeah, how are all the other in-person conferences going? I haven't had a chance to go to one yet since COVID.
Well, the UFO conference in Laughlin, it was about the same as before COVID, which is pretty good actually, because I think there's a lot of people who are still hesitant to travel, and then plus people are going from like 0 to 60 miles an hour here in their life, so all of a sudden they have a lot of stuff to catch up on. So, but I think we're going to have a good showing. I just have that feeling, I'm enthusiastic. I'll be going to a conference this week up in Idaho, the Energy Science Technology Conference with Aaron. I don't know if you know Aaron or not.
No.
But he used to be with the Bedini people and everything before Bedini died. So, but he has a pretty good showing up there. And I'm sure some of those people will be coming to our conference too. That's where I met Jeremiah, as a matter of fact, on our Tesla guy on Saturday. He came, actually coming from that conference. So
I'm just looking at it now, the energyscienceconference.com. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of synergy between this conference and Tesla Tech. A lot of stuff they're showing.
We tend to do a lot of stuff together, to me, you can't have too many, What other people might consider a competition and everything, I think the more people that are interested in this is better for everyone. So.
Yeah, there really isn't competition when it comes to this type of research. It's really about sharing and just making it happen, because the possibilities that will become available to us once this technology is figured out for the masses, at least, because the secret space program has figured it out years ago, it will be multi-trillion dollars in today's dollars, at least, industries. So there's going to be plenty for anyone that can take a slice of the pie.
Well, I'm pretty excited.
Interesting.
I'm pretty excited about everything that's going on. We have people acknowledging now, like the climate change. We have people acknowledging that we need to change our transportation modes and everything. Now's the time to get our foot in the door and get people looking at different things. Even on the electrical power side, with all these power issues they're having with this heat up in Canada and the northwestern states there, the wires are actually melting from the loads they're carrying now, So they're looking at, we have to do something different, and let's get our foot in the door and make us the alternative, or a viable alternative, And not every idea is going to pan out, but there's enough to start trying things, and look at things differently. And maybe we'll get to Mars after all.
Without rockets.
Without rockets, but even with rockets, I mean, think about that. So Mars is even starting to get into play now. The Chinese is really driving this right now because now that they're up, have their own space station and they're pushing to get to Mars. They won't have their own Mars rover now. If we don't get off our butts here and really push the STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, we're going to be a third world country. And that's one of the reasons we have Teens Are Free. We try to get more people involved. I think everyone will have a great time, in the process. Learning can be fun. And there's nothing like actually playing with the stuff and putting the stuff together. And I think everyone who's on here, I hope that they all built a Tesla coil one time in their life. Or if not, get a chance to do that, because you learn a lot just by building a Tesla coil, and putting your theoretical knowledge to use here. I know there's nothing that gets people's interest in a spark. You put a small spark in a room. I don't care how big the spark. You can have a huge one or a very small one. As soon as that people hear that zzz, they just come from miles away. So
it captures the imagination and possibilities.
it's
And
the first.
people seem to associate Tesla with those sparks, but he did a lot more than just sparks, right?
He did the sparks. He did the alternating current motors, okay, which is why you have 60 hertz in your house as opposed to just DC. And you have the Tesla turbine, and even though it's not formally used as the go-to pump, they do use it in some aspects, like to pump out of deep wells and that. And it's the only pump out there that could pump a fluid without ripping it apart. So you can pump like complex chemical molecular structures, like they do in the medical field. And that you can use it for that kind of pumping and that. And you can put a high volume of it out there. Plus, you can use it as an engine, And then you had he was probably one of the first people to talk to Mars. Or people who are from out there, because he was receiving signals at a time when he was the only transmitter on the planet. Tesla did just about a little bit of everything. He worked with vacuum tubes, the wireless transmission of power. It's just mind-boggling, and the grasp and scale of it. Even drones. Tesla had the first real drone out there, the Automaton, which he floated in Madison Square Garden in 1897. And using wireless, at a time where radio didn't even exist outside of his hands. Tesla is quite the hero.
Okay. Also, Steve, you mentioned that there was a problem with the website, purchasing things on the website. Is that still an issue, or has that been taken care of?
I think it's been taken care of, but if you have an issue, just call me up, because I could send you a request for payment through PayPal, or you just give it to me over the phone. I can do it over the phone.
Okay, and how do people get that $74 a night hotel rooms? Is that directly through the hotel, or do they have to go through you as well?
No, you go to the hotel. Just tell them it's for the Tesla conference and that. And right now they have to the 16th of July to get that price. But I'm sure if you get a little bit late, I'm sure they'll honor it. They like us there, and they want us to. Well, they're looking for us to be there again next year, and that means we have a little bit of leverage here. So these people are really nice. I've worked with them. This being my third conference at this hotel. We are well known in Albuquerque, though, so we can go to any hotel there, and they they all want me there, and we're a good group for them.
Why Albuquerque? I know you were in Colorado Springs before.
Well, I moved from Colorado Springs, and I'm one of those guys who don't look back when you leave a place, and so I just prefer being. First of all, I prefer being on the Front Range. And Albuquerque is accessible from interstate from all four directions. It also has an international airport. The airline rates are pretty cheap. The they have a railroad. Amtrak goes through there, so you can come from L.A. to Albuquerque or from Chicago to Albuquerque by rail. They have Greyhound, and it's just easy to get to. So plus the climate, is like 90 degrees, and I live in Vegas now where it's like 116 at that time of year. I used to live in Phoenix where it's even just as bad, So temperate climate, easy access,
That strikes, pretty much everything that you want out of a
Plus the
conference.
hotels are willing to work with me on pricing. And hotel prices are very important. And Vegas, they're outrageous on their pricing for hotels.
Also, I think Albuquerque being close to Roswell and close to the Air Force Base is more of a more of an appropriate place to house a serious conversation about the technology behind flying saucers versus what the kind of people that would show up in Vegas who are more the party type.
Well, you have the Roswell, you have the Sandia Labs, you have Kirkland Air Force Base, you have the Atomic Museum right down the road. If you go up on Route 60, you have the SETI project there, with all the antennas that they're looking for life from. That's all
the Very Large Array, it's called.
Yeah, I've been to that. In fact, I have a picture of me by one. So you have all that, plus you have the secret labs up in Taos there. So it's a good location for technical people.
Yeah, New Mexico Tech is out there, isn't it?
Yeah, University of New Mexico. We had a conference on their campus the first year we went to Albuquerque. But yeah, it's a really good location. And if we ever have the ice age come down, it should be just on the south end of it, so we can continue on. So
this is the plains of St. Augustine. This is there was allegedly another crash site there from Roswell too. Right. Here's where they put the antennas on these things. There's a giant train tracks, right? They built all these train tracks out in the desert, and these giant satellites will go on the train tracks and go out in just to different distances. They've time lapse of them.
And US 60 goes right through the whole middle.
Yeah. Right there. That's called the Very Large Array. There's 3 of them, and they all move together in the middle. See that? These massive microwave radar domes. That is.
Yeah, they go and put a lot of money into stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And so I feel real good about this conference. I think everyone will have a great time. I think we're going to move forward on a lot of stuff, And the interesting thing about Roswell is, when they had Operation Paperclip and they brought all the German scientists, they were all brought into Mexico there, into the Roswell area. So if you drive through Roswell, all those houses look slightly European, and the kids there speak Spanish with a German accent, because they brought their wives there and they were the school teachers there. So Roswell has a very good interconnection, with the underground technology group here. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was supposed to. In fact, I did a website for the 50th anniversary of Roswell, but unfortunately that year we had the Heaven Gate disaster where all those people committed suicide because of the comet, and it all got canceled. So almost. And it's a good thing it did though, because it turned out they had a huge thunderstorm that night and washed the whole area out. And had the band been playing like they had planned, everyone would have gotten electrocuted. So who knows?
That's right. Remember that? I think it was about that guy they caught downloading child porn. They said that was why they shut down that observatory. That's another weird thing. As I met last time I went out to Tesla Tech, Sterling Allen was there. I met Sterling Allen, who used to run PES Wiki. And of course, he won't be there this year because he's in prison. So, and PES Wiki is gone. That's no longer there. All that stuff's gone.
I think so. It's up there, but
we need new people to come in and take over, and hopefully they're not like some of the unnamed people I won't mention in this chat, man. Oh my god. Hey, I've got a moose. Also, thanks to Victor Wag for the $35 donation from California, Canada. Sorry. And then Moose1911 said, "What are your thoughts about the Zimbabwe case with all the children? They still have the same story today. Love your work. Never stop." So this is a UFO question about that Zimbabwe case. It just seems really weird and interesting. What the heck did they see, and why did if it was aliens, why did they just go down to what were they doing there? And it just is a weird story. And but again, this I don't know much about it, and I'm not much into like the abductee cases. There are a couple that I looked into that I'm not so sure about, like some of the more famous ones. It's weird how the stuff that gets the most famous is like the most bunk. I don't know.
Actually, the Zimbabwe case was a UFO landing in the middle of the playground of a school.
Yeah, it was a school.
Aliens got out and started playing with the kids.
Yeah.
There was no abduction in that case. It was a really far out case, but
yeah, it's not abduction. Sorry, I used the wrong word. But so it's definitely a far out case, and they didn't like abduct the school kids, but they apparently came down and played with them, and like all the school children remember it. And I guess did the teacher remember it too? I mean, what happened there? I would have like fainted if I seen that.
Yeah, the teachers remember. I mean, the teachers are dead, but it was a long time ago.
They're all adults now and stuff. I
mean, the kids are adults. Yeah.
So do you know about this too? There's a nonprofit scientific org at Brazil called Nikola Tesla Institute, located near the Lake Paranoa in the capital of Brazil since 2012. I didn't know about that. Have you ever heard either of you ever heard of that? I mean, any of you?
First I've heard.
Yeah, huh?
But it does surprise me because there's a lot of test outfits I haven't heard about, and now that internet's common, there's a lot more happening out there than we can keep track of.
It's also a pretty common name. Tesla was pretty famous.
Well, when I first started Tesla, it was like a 4-letter word, to some people, and I've had professors come and thank me because the stuff we did, publishing these proceedings from our Tesla symposiums, and that I made it respectable and allowed people to come in and talk about Tesla in the classroom without being ridiculed, and they use things like Mars and that to go after Tesla and that. But now look at us, we're trying to get up there for real. And I had a Tesla conference on Mars back in 1992, and it was one of the best ones I think out there. and hopefully I'll be able to get those videotapes converted into DVDs soon. But we had everyone. We had Lockheed, we had Goddard, we had the Jet Propulsion Lab. We had all those guys there, so it was a really good, serious conference there. But
Interesting. I'm playing the video. Someone wants me to wanted me to play it. So thank you, Parallel Frequency, and yeah, we're talking about this Zimbabwe case now, which is a little bit off topic. I wanted to talk about technology and stuff. Is there any technology? I didn't think there was much technology talked about or shown in this case. It was kind of just a close encounter of the third kind, if you will. Yeah, I don't know, man.
so do they actually have video of these UFOs and the kids playing, or?
Whoa, Renee threw $5 in. I gotta read what Moose wrote now. So sorry. I'm trying to pay attention to this live chat. There's all these people here live talking. Yeah, a lot of that came from John Lear. If you look up Mystery Wire, also like with not Mystery Wire, but okay, so George Knapp used to have a show called On the Record, George Knapp with John Lear. People asking questions about this stuff, and we ought to get Dan on to go and talk about this, but you can go back and find this interview from 1987, which of course is 2 years before Lazar, and Lear pretty much talks about the mailbox, the Zeta Reticuli, the hangar with he says 11 craft in it, and I don't know. There's all those stories, man, and those are legends. But we're actually trying to do experiments and set up. We're gonna have some live demonstrations of real experiments. At Tesla Tech, and it's not just going to be this UFO, some of this UFO stuff. We're trying to take ufology to a whole nother level with the science, and a focus on the science and innovation with new technology, pushing the limits of physics and science. So again, this is great that you're hosting this and putting this together, and I don't know. Sorry, go ahead.
I've actually built one of these devices, these free energy devices. It was like a motor generator type, and it was using like a 3-amp permanent motor, which was driving a 12-volt alternator. Should have never worked, but it actually did for 3 weeks. And the guy who showed me how to do this, these guys coming out of town, we were trying to figure out what the 3 weeks was about. And these guys come out of town and wooed him away. So he works with them, and he disappeared on me for a while. And then I saw him again. And it turns out they built bigger ones, but kept running across this 3-week problem where these things only work for 3 weeks, and then stop. And so the only thing I could figure out at this point is we probably did tap into what Tesla tapped in, this source of energy. But it's kind of like throwing a rock in a tar pit. You know how you throw it in there and you get a big hole in there, and then it fills itself back up, self-annealing. That's what we could be at. We have to start to figure a way how we could keep tapping into that. But like I say, I believe in this stuff. I don't really believe in it. I know because I've done it. You only believe it if you haven't done it. So that's how come I encourage people to do stuff like Tesla caused that. It opens up a whole new way of doing things. So.
Yeah, this is cool. Moray King's going to be there, and he's another one that's getting up there. Must be getting up there in age. So it's like all these old timers, man. This is your last chance to meet some of these people, and it could be, it could be. So I would definitely make the trip out there if you can afford it. You know.
I would also add in that what we're looking at here isn't the chance of a lifetime. This is the chance of the opportunity of a civilization. A civilization only has one chance at disclosure. You can't disclose what's already been disclosed. So, if that kind of event is happening at Tesla Tech, if that kind of narrative is being brought forward, this is going to be once in a civilization opportunity.
Yeah. Just
Story.
if you're happen to stop by Albuquerque and be in the area, you can drop off, your own flash drive to us and make disclosure happen. Basically,
I have
help
a
out.
question for Steve about that device, the motor generator. Was there a switching circuit or a switching control circuitry aboard somewhere in that system between the motor and the generator?
No, it was very simple. Motor, you have your motor, generator, and then you have a little V belt going between the two. That was it. The only thing that was pretty wild is that the guy, when he was measuring the wire, he stretched his arms out and clipped it, and then they all sprung back 4 times, so you have 4 6-foot lengths of wire. And I'm thinking, gee, this has got to be the sloppiest wiring job I've ever seen, because we only need to go like, less than a foot. And turns out, I'm thinking is those coils and the wires, makes a 6-foot aperture there, like an antenna. And we were tapping to something that you can tap into with a 6-foot aperture.
Interesting. Yeah, that was the part that I was really after is, what was different about it other than just it being a motor generator. And that is certainly something quite different about it.
And then here's the other thing that's different.
Some kind.
And like a Tesla coil, like sometimes you design it so you can move that one of the wires there to change the tuning of it. Well, here, when you spread when it first started up, it didn't run at all, because we used a dead battery. I mean, this battery was like 9 volts, and it couldn't even turn it, And I even tried spinning the alternator to get it going. But then what happened is he gets in this ain't right. He starts spreading those coils apart. And then all of a sudden, it just like snap, and it perks its head up and starts spinning faster and faster. And like I say, you can fake meters, but you can't fake a torque. You can't fake motion. It's either going to move or it's not going to move. And so, my jaw hit the floor there. I had to pick it up. But it was pretty amazing
too. Absolutely, that's incredible. So he had apparently formed some kind of resonant circuit that was able to tap into something. Somewhere.
Like I say, a 6-foot aperture there, and he had 4 antennas. And by moving those coils, he was adjusting the tuning, And then after 3 weeks, it stopped, And
but after 3 weeks, if you were to start it back up again, would it still run?
Couldn't get it to go again. We don't know what we did with it. And then those people from out of town came in because we had published plans on it because we thought, I thought this was the cast me out, So I published plans, and it's in my book, Tesla's car, I have the plans there and everything, but it's very simple. I mean, except for the coils, it's very hard to get it going. There's just a few people that have been able to get it to work. Sometimes you just have to have a feel for this stuff, and then there are people with the intent theory that you have to have an intent, for to make this stuff work and everything. And now you're starting to get into quantum fields, and a lot of this stuff is going into quantum, and like you have quantum physics now, and now they're building a quantum computer. I think at Google. So,
We'll see enough if this is real, or if there's anything to it. We'll see soon enough.
Do you think this is legit, or you think he's got like a crane?
This is something Russell Anderson's working on, actually.
Yeah, he put that at my last conference.
Don't you have like a device in your laboratory, Mark? Right there?
Yeah, we have one. It's the one built by Chris Hardiman, and we're gonna try to get that working too. Really, really weird device. Trick is making standing wave, but
alien scientist is a mess. I love him. Okay. Oh yeah, the alien scientist with Kurt Jamungle. The guy didn't know anything, man. He hadn't heard of anyone. Of course, it was a mess. The guy's like he's like decades behind. Decades behind. I'm sorry.
So I've got a bag full of ultrasonic transducers here. I have.
It was like me launching he hadn't even watched a single one of my videos. It was going on my channel, and I'm like, he had no clue what he was walking into. So I was just, yeah.
Are those different frequencies, Jeremiah?
They're all tuned to the same frequency. I'm going to run them in parallel. So that'll be my resonant ultrasonic source for the discs in my replication of the Alexi device.
I think we got to go with building our own transducer for that, because it got to be tuned precisely to the pulses. So unless you have a way of, because do those include driver circuits?
No, they're just the raw transducers. I'm going to build my own driver circuit to tune them in.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah,
they're pretty picky about the frequency they want to run at. I mean, they really want to hit their resonant notch and then oscillate there. Each of them has this little cone that's kind of epoxy to the surface of the backside of the transducer, which gives it a very defined resonant frequency. But I could technically slice that off, and I could modify it some other way to get the sound out. But it is already kind of nice because it's designed for.
Nice that you have some extra, because we might need to change those resonant frequencies depending on what.
There are different transducers that we can try too. I mean, that's not the only option. There are these little ultrasonic horns that go up to 45 to 50 kilohertz, and they have a pretty wide band output, so they're not so picky about the frequency that you run them at, and they can handle a good 100 watts, which is quite a lot of power to pump in, which would be a lot more probably what Alexi is using, but brute force method, if you wanted to really try to push it, nice 50 to 100 watts of ultrasonic sound into the system would be a damn good start.
Oh, okay. Ask Area 503 asks if a UFO uses EM propulsion, would that only work inside the planet's field? I think what we're looking at here is really two scalar fields of DC potential that are separated by a standing waveform. And that's what allows them to stay scalar and not like linear or like regular DC field potentials. There's also spinning magnets in there, and there's the transducer, basically provides like a kick, a vibration at the frequency. So there's a couple components to it. I'm not sure if all of them are necessary to get it to fly, but he's shown it with earlier videos where it didn't have that transducer and it was flying.
It's weird, man. It almost looks like it's like suspended from like an invisible string.
It does. Or something. It does smell a bit of a hoax, but then when you look at it deeper, it's like, heck, something to what he's saying starts to make sense. And there's just
didn't you get a Russian translator and talk to him?
Yeah, we actually got a Russian translator and went over it word by word. And I think Steve can talk to this too. When people are at the fringes of science, they start making up words for to describe the effects that they're seeing. And one of the reasons why it was so hard to understand Alexei is because he's doing the same damn thing in Russian. So like, who's to say that we know what we're talking? Like he's using all these strange words that Google Translate has a hard time translating. And when it was translated word for word for us, we started to understand exactly what he was talking about. And here's the man himself.
I think we just, told people to show up with flash drives full of intel for us, and we're going to get a bunch of flash drives full of friggin', bots and viruses, and CIA is going to come in with them. They're bugs and bug all our machines and stuff. They're going to be watching us. Look at it. He's going with the stick over it, man, just to show you there's nothing.
Looks like a middle-aged man. He looks about our age now, or a little older, maybe.
Unless it's an optical illusion. Does he do it from like way in,
Well, this he needs to come to the conference, and he can actually demonstrate, and everyone can come there and
pick this thing apart and be like, hey. That's
not
what we
cheap.
want.
It's not cheaper than everyone going there and seeing them. You know. But
So this is it. This is where they pull the string back up and tighten the string back up, and he takes the support post out. So it was no, and now they're gonna fly it from the.
Nah, something's
I don't
going
know,
on
man.
there.
the problem is he has a tethered power supply because he obviously don't have enough lift to lift the power supply with it. And that's been the big challenge on everything.
Hey, so can we give him any tips on this? Seth and Dolan Dots wants to know any tips on the power supply for the Biefeld Brown experiment. You guys want to tell him the magical the power supply to use, or do you want to let him figure that out on his own? I don't know. Do we want to share?
Well, he can come down to the lab here in Hopper, New Jersey, and we can power it up at 125,000 volts. But
ideally,
that
you
is-
have the
that
ability
is
to
the
control your
secret.
waveforms. You definitely want the control over the exact wave shape. Brown talked about using stepped waveforms and a variety of other various inputs. It wasn't just straight up DC. There's a lot of theories that make predictions that straight DC and a gradient field will produce a force, and we've thoroughly tested this and found that it definitely does not produce a force when there's no ionic current flow or there's no leakage of the materials themselves. So that being said, a lot of theories were wrong, but there is a potential with a AC field, and the way that you do that is to pre-polarize the dielectric strongly with a DC potential, just like you would on an electret microphone for any kind of like electret mic circuit, same kind that your laptop or your cell phone uses. You would pre-polarize the electret, and then you would be able to get variations from a sound vibration that hit the diaphragm would produce a voltage variation on the output. So that's effectively what you're doing here with these gravitational thrust capacitors with like the gravitator capacitor TT Brown, is you're trying to produce this waveform where you have a very fast rise and a slow fall, or a very slow rise and a fast fall. But in either case, you want to make sure that the dielectric stays polarized with some DC the entire time. So you can't just charge up the device and then discharge it completely, because you'll end up with an unpolarized material at the end and you won't be able to utilize the full effect. So whatever you do, you can change the voltages around asymmetrically in terms of their rise and fall currents, but you want to make sure that you always rise fast and fall slower, or vice versa, so that you can keep your asymmetrical distributed radiated power in one direction.
Sort of like the slanted sawtooth wave that we've talked about.
Right,
the
famous sawtooth wave.
Yeah, it's one of the things I wanted to do with that. What do you call it? With the impulse switching device, the Klystron, Thyrotron, actually. What are we looking at here?
This is Wayne's
Oh, it's Wayne's.
Podklanov experiment from yesterday.
Oh, that's the new disc I got him. Oh no, it's a smaller one. No, those aren't the large.
Yeah, that's a 2-inch disc. He says in the video.
Yeah, it's a 2-inch disc I got him. Cool. And he put a piece of foam on top of it. Ooh, really nice.
It's amazing. People are caught up on Bob Lazar, man. Didn't we already cover that on this channel? Enough. I told you, like, I have nothing left to say about Lazar until Corbell is ready to debate me, and he won't, because he's not a man.
Corbell right now is a special interest stooge.
Corbell is getting owned right now.
He's on Fox News and CNN. He's on all these shows almost daily now. Pushing a narrative. No, he's a mass media stooge. He sold his soul to the devil.
Yes, he's getting it though. Everyone's calling him out. Hey, I gotta run real quick. You guys can. I'll be right back. 1 second. I'm watching my son, and he just woke up. I'll be right back. 1 sec.
So what is this guy supposed to be doing now?
Oh, so this is Wayne Ojala out in Canada, and he's running an experiment using a superconducting disk that I sent him in the mail. Basically, we share supplies and equipment whenever possible, and we're spinning the superconducting disk around. It's the Podklanov spinning disk experiment that was performed by NASA. It's supposed to create weight loss. There's a piece of glass in between the disk and his weight measurement. Make sure that we're not dealing with any airflow. And I can see what happens over here. There's some kind of coil. We're missing the audio, so I'm not really sure how he has this set up.
So
But
what is that liquid? Water?
I think that's water for his scale measurement, yes.
Because I don't know if you ever read the book Breakthrough Energy by Dan Davison, and he talks about this water experiment where because they had a transducer and they exposed I think it was 40 kilohertz, and it actually discharged the water and blew a hole in the ceiling there, straight up out of there. I just was wondering, that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah, some really cool experiments that we have going on. Yeah, we pretty much got together a group of like-minded individuals, scientists, mostly engineers, though, and got everyone communicating on a WhatsApp channel. And it's pretty much a 24/7 conversation, and a lot of the innovations have come from just sharing knowledge, sharing experiments in real time with everyone. So we sort of have like a Tesla Tech sort of conversation happening 24/7. And it's international. It's around the world. We have people from Israel, United States, Canada, Vietnam, England, an international affair. And we're open sourcing everything. Just trying to show how this technology potentially works and show real experiments, being completed.
Like I say, we do publish a magazine, and we're always looking for articles and that. So if anyone wants to write up their stuff and send it to me, we'll see what we can do with that. Like we're talking about before, where people have a hard time explaining what they're doing because either they don't have the education to, or it's so new that there's no word for it. We kind of can smooth those rough edges out and make it look super professional. And it's only through methods like that and the written word that I think that the academic world out there starts accepting our ideas and starts actually teaching it.
Yeah, I've seen that problem before, and where the words are they haven't been invented yet.
And it's really amazing, I've seen it back in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. I saw an Air Force physics manual, where they actually had a chapter dedicated to aliens, So I don't know where that went to, but I had a copy of that. And so a lot of stuff that you see being taught in the back rooms of the military, you're not seeing in the civilian side. And a lot of stuff, you're seeing out there being shown as new is actually 20, 30, 40 years old, technology on a real basis. Looks like that.
We're pouring the liquid nitrogen. This is always an exciting moment. Caleb Romo wrote, "Trust me, when all this is over, all you're going to be hearing about is the Pius effect." For some reason, I think there's a bit of truth to that.
Pius from the sky.
Oh, he's talking about Salvador Pius with the Pius patents, of course.
The Navy patents, right?
Yeah.
So there's other ways to get room temperature superconductors too, apparently. This is really cool, though. It's good that Wayne's doing these videos. And please, I'm going to share this on Twitter right now so people can go check it out.
You know, one of my really early back issues there, we had a formula for how to make your own superconductors at home. Those are pretty cool. Bake and shake.
Look who's in my inbox. Cool stuff, dude. We're gonna be reaching some real big people. I gotta write him back and send him some goods of the goods, because we're about to get some serious physicists on board for disclosure. Because disclosure's already happened. It's pretty much out there. It's now up to us to bring it out with our own experiments and stuff. And unfortunately, we don't have $35 trillion like the Pentagon has missing from its budget to build this stuff. But hey, we're getting more people interested. There's people that are venture capitalists that are coming down to look for new projects to fund. And you know, if you got technology or you can do this, anyone who has something, you know, this would be the place to bring it. If you got a piece of something, bring it here. I remember I was here. I met a guy named last Tesla Tech. I met a guy named Clifford Mahudi.
Yes, the chief.
The chief, right? The Indian chief. And yeah, Clifford Mahudi was there, and he had a bunch of pieces of debris that he apparently had got from Chuck Wade, I think his name is.
Yeah, it would have been Chuck.
Yeah, Chuck Wade and Roswell UFO. So like he had Chuck Wade has this whole website. Yeah, this is Chuck Wade right here. And he's another Native American guy. Grew up out right near Roswell, and you know, had heard about all this stuff, and actually went out and started visiting these crash sites and started this archaeological expedition. And they were the Indians who were like out. I mean, the Native Americans. Sorry, you shouldn't call them that. That's a stupid word. Who went out there and like are near and from the nearby reservations were going out there and digging these pieces up, and they had a whole bunch of them saved in a bag, and I was looking at them and checking them out, but unfortunately they didn't have anything that looked particularly interesting to me. It seems to me that the intelligence agencies, what they did is they went out and they cleared that field of debris like more thoroughly than I'm pretty sure they picked up every last bit of scrap or whatever crashed out there, and it looks like they buried a lot of other junk out there to throw people off. That's what I think happened. So, but I don't know, because I didn't see anything that looked particularly. But it'd be great if we could get someone to bring some memory foil to Tesla Tech for us to check out or something, because that would be I think enough time's passed. We're ready for disclosure, so this would be the place to do it. And there's a lot of people who are probably have access to some stuff that are still in that area. You know, I know a lot of stuff goes on in that area. New Mexico and Nevada are the two most top secret states of what goes on there as far as classified programs and operations. So it's right near Los Alamos National Labs. I drove down last time from Colorado. But yeah, this is awesome. Steve, thank you for taking the time to promote this and tell us more about this conference. Again, people can go and check it out here. I have the links. Here for where people can go and check it. I'm going to put these in the description now. And yeah,
if you want to come down to the conference and everything, I set you up with some space, where you can demonstrate a lot of stuff. We have a lot of space available to us.
And Steve, is there any way that I could get on the conference program? You have any time slots left for presenters? Because I could throw something. I could throw my UAP report and some other stuff, my technologies thing together, or I could throw something.
If you're available tomorrow, give me a call, and I'll see what I can do.
I will definitely do that, man. And it's great to reconnect with you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, you can stay on if you want, but I'm going to end the stream here and jump off the broadcast for tonight. Thank you. Thank you for checking this out, and thanks everyone in the live chat for joining us. And hopefully we can see you guys in New Jersey. I mean, in not New Jersey, but in New Mexico at Tesla Tech at the where is it? The Crown Plaza Hotel in Albuquerque on August 11th. So look forward to seeing you all. Thank you.
Thank you.